We got one question so far on the little thing that I put up there on LinkedIn. And this comes from David. So I want to read the question, and then I've got a few notes. I'll read through some of the notes too, and we'll just kind of talk through what his question is about here. What David says is, "Hi Jeff. Last year I really struggled with grief over poor decisions I made at work in the past. How do I convert this overwhelming negativity into energy and focus to make better decisions? How do I stop sleepwalking and reacting and start thinking and acting with purpose?" Okay, so it's a good question. So I'm going to start off with one of my notes here first, because first let's just acknowledge, thanks David for being bold enough to ask this. And second, let's also acknowledge that the way you feel about this really shows that you're a very deeply caring person, right? Deep down inside, you really do want to make sure that you're making right decisions, because you're probably wondering how it not only affects you making those types of decisions, but also how it affects everybody else. All right. So I'm going to start walking and talking here now. All right. Here we go. So when I start thinking back over that question again too, and I know David and I have worked together before in the past. It's been quite a while back. But just from what I knew of David before, I mean, he's one of the smartest guys I know. I mean, honestly, David is one sharp dude. And I learned a lot from him in the time that we did work together. I always learned a lot of really cool things from him. He was on the developer side. I was on the UX, the research, and the design side. So being able to work with a guy like him was really pretty cool. So he wonders how he can stop sleepwalking. And I mean, to me, David, maybe the first thing is, well, you have already acknowledged this within yourself. And I would say a neat thing to do would be to see if you can think back on these ones that you feel were really big mistakes in your judgment. I would write them all down, right? So pick ones in particular and write those things down first, just to acknowledge them, just to get them out, right? Like a lot of people, a lot of coaches will tell you that you have to write stuff down in order to acknowledge it. The best way you can is to write them down. So I would say maybe pick a couple, right? So maybe there are a couple that really stick out in your mind as being those ones that were, I don't want to say bad. I hesitate to say bad. They were decisions that you made, and you made the best decision you could at that point in time, depending on the information that you had. And I don't know what that was, but I would say maybe pick a couple and write those couple down and see what you get out of that first. Just write them down and just sit with them. See what kind of thoughts writing them down actually brings up to you. Start there. Once you get there, then I would say I would write a couple of questions down. One, how does this affect me now? Because you are thinking back on it. And I would say, how is this affecting me now? Did it really change my position at work in any way? Did it change anything about the way that I do my work? And how can I, or how do I see all that as being a part of my life right now? Okay, that's the first thing I would write down. Next, what I would do, and it's because of the comment that I made back towards the very beginning, you're kind of sort of wondering how this has affected other people. All right. So I would say, all right, next question might be, how do I feel that this affected the person I made this decision for or to? And I'm not sure exactly how that goes or who that person was. Again, I don't know the entire set of circumstances, but I would write that down too. See how you feel about that. See how you feel about how it might have affected somebody else whether it was positive or negative. And if you feel that it was a negative experience, then it's also quite possible that you feel that it was a negative experience for them too. It probably was in some way. You never can tell how people take things. It's possible that you feel a lot worse about it than it actually was. Possible, right? But I think you're headed in the right direction. First off, just asking that question, and then also putting that out there to me to see what I might feel about that and how I might be able to coach you through that. All right. So, I'm not sure if there's really much more that I can add to that. I mean, there probably is. I'm sure there are other things that I could come up with around it, but most of all, it's just it's knowing that you feel that way, and then trying to figure out how to move through it and make those decisions a little bit differently the next time, right? Rather than, like you say, you're sleepwalking through there. I'm coming up onto a lady right now, so I'm going to stop for a second. Hey there, how are you today?
Okay, how about you?
Pretty good.
Good.
So let's get into that a little bit more now, right? Let's get into that just a tiny little bit. How can you do things differently this time? You've already done the exercise of writing everything down and seeing how those things make you feel, because right now you need to come up with the more positive aspects of how to do something like that in the future, correct? So I think first thing is knowing what your values are. I think second is stopping for just a little bit. I mean, I don't know if these were knee-jerk reactions that you made. If they were, then there's your opportunity to slow down just a little bit and make those decisions at a different point in time. I mean, hopefully those weren't decisions that you've had to make just like on the spot, right? Like right away. If you do have time to think about them, think through them, and then ask those questions to yourself again. How is this going to affect me? How is this going to affect the other people around me? What does this mean for my career if I keep making these kinds of decisions? What will it make for my career if I learn how to make these decisions a little bit better? You got to get to what's in your heart more than anything else, what's in your head, right? Because a lot of times when we're in our head, we're making these knee-jerk reactions, and we're not really working from the smartest part of ourselves. So that might give you an opportunity to do that. All right. I think that's probably it for right now. And we'll come back to next one as soon as we get another question. Or if we don't get another question, we'll just I'll create a few for us to go through. All right. Thanks, everybody. This is Jeff walking and talking. I'll see y'all a little bit later. Have a good one.